Morning guys, let's just want to do a bit of an update. I've not been looking at anything for the past couple of days, so it'll be interesting to see where we are, see if we can get a sense as to what's going on. Let's have a look. Just pull up this full featured chart. Okay, so we'll start with the S&P 500. What can we see? Okay, so big down, big up. All right. Okay, well this is interesting. What we've seen, we've gone down here, rallied straight back up again. This is 4 hourly chart, and closed at the high, but that's looking pretty obvious. That's the first thing that stands out, is slightly cut above it. Potentially more like that, but for now we'll close as this peak, so we'll do this. And then, it's a bit of a channel maybe. Possibly even another megaphone, which is looking likely, because we had one back here as well, and we've gone back ever so slightly higher high. It's really not, really quite minimal, but you know, gone higher. We come back and got into this volatility, so it's showing, it's looking like we're getting these big megaphone patterns down, followed by a move up, which isn't really that strong. And another big megaphone pattern down again. You know, see the first one was back here. So it looks like we might start getting some big price moves. We're going to have to get above this, but then even if we get above this, there's a possibility that this trend line's more probably suited here. Especially if this is the start of the formation. In fact, we could probably even put it, start from there to here. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go up to here and to test, I mean that's a resistance zone as well. Yeah, 39.30, and you can see there's a bit of resistance here, resistance throughout. So, and there's support here as well actually. Yeah, okay, so fair enough, it's possible that we go to here. If we see this pattern sort of hold, I won't be surprised to see perhaps a trade up in the early hours of today up to here. Might actually be quite a quiet session today, because we've got to end up going up here then closing on this session. That would be the likely outcome, I would have thought. But either way, potential for quite a big move down again, to see a second one of these corrections. Let's see if VIX is telling us anything. Okay, yeah, so VIX is looking a bit interesting as well. You've got, this is your 20 line, this is your support that's been for a while. We've kind of just dipped underneath it. In fact, I've no RSI on this chart, unfortunately. See if I can chuck one off. Let's get rid of one of these moving averages and chuck an RSI up instead. It's probably going to be a bit better, because hopefully we might be able to see some sort of divergence here, and if we can, and that'll be a pretty good indication. So what do we have? So here's your bottom, and here's your, yeah, so we've actually got some pretty bullish divergence here. You can see a peak followed by pretty much the same level, very slightly lower. Whereas down here we've got a bottom followed by a very slightly low bottom, and a bottom here followed by a slightly higher bottom. The RSI is starting to really creep up, even though the volume isn't doing an awful lot. So potentially it can go one of two ways. It could mean that it's setting up to head lower, but it could also mean it's setting up to, you know, we started getting this series of bigger peaks as well. We've got a, you know, spiked up, came back down again, a little bump, higher bump here, although it is rejecting these moving averages. What I'd like to see is that kind of hold. If we can just keep riding this up, that's looking pretty. It could start forming some sort of a wedge type pattern and move higher, but it's difficult to say at the moment. I mean, if we look, it's not looking bullish on the S&P, I would say. If we go to the daily, see if that gives us anything different. Nah, see, it just doesn't look. It's not saying we can't break out, it's just saying, to me, it says it's minimal. I actually don't think if it broke out now it would go to a higher high. I think we'd probably see another match of this peak and probably not hit this again. Kind of like a head and shoulders triple top kind of thing, with your, you know, your neckline be down here and there's your big head, big shoulders. So it's not looking like, if the VIX is going to go down, it's going to go an awful long way. I could be wrong, but I mean the all-time low on the VIX is down here at 8.5, so the chance of it going down there is pretty minimal. If it's going to go anywhere, it's going to be, I don't know, 16, 15 at a push. But I think on the balance of probabilities, it's probably just going to stay around this sort of level, maybe a quick dip, but hopefully going higher. The interesting one, I did actually have a quick look at the dollar. I believe it's, yeah, look at that, dollar's gone up. That's fantastic. That's what we want to see. And we've also put in a higher peak with less on the RSI as well. So that's a pretty good indication for the dollar. We're not overbought yet, and we're starting to get back into this kind of zone here. It'd be nice if we can see this rally now move up to probably about 94, and then maybe test. That's a pretty good indication. That's, you know, for the dollar bulls, that's what we want to see. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with the way that's looking. See if it's giving anything more on the firewall. Oops, move that down a bit more. Yeah, it's looking quite nice, that. You see this widening pattern down here, and then a break up and above it, retest, another retest, and a move up now. This is a pretty good, clear, strong rally. So the dollar's looking brilliant, and this is despite, you know, we started getting these short coverings on the dollar, but everyone still remains dollar bearish. You know, they think everything's going to go down and whatnot. And despite all of that, you can see with them trying to push it down, it's just not gone. It's just held the support, and it's all up now. So that's brilliant. That's what you want to see. Dollar's looking pretty strong. It could potentially fail around this zone though. Is this? Yeah, I mean, it was support resistance zone around here, slightly higher. So it looks like we've initially got through it. In fact, it looks like intraday we've done it. So this here was a bit of a resistance level, which hasn't really proved much resistance. We just sort of tested it for a 4-hour period and it came back. So, what about the Nasdaq? Because that's usually a bit more interest. Yeah, okay, so the Nasdaq's giving a bit more away than perhaps what the S&P is. In terms of, we've got a much lower peak, and we've come back down, and we've not even corrected here. The S&P's gone into this megaphone pattern, it's back up. You know, Nasdaq's just not doing anything. So, yeah, it's starting to look quite a critical level here, because this is your 200 period moving average on the 4-hourly. So if we break underneath this, then I don't know. I mean, where's the daily? Okay, so it's the 100 period on the daily. If we can hold it, yeah, okay, fair enough. It doesn't look bullish. It actually looks like we at least need to correct down to sort of this level, I think, before we come back up with the Nasdaq. That would be a good, strong take profits, let's start a new bull market kind of thing. But we'll see what happens. Gold, what's gold doing? So I did this megaphone pattern. It's a little descending pattern a couple of weeks ago. It looks like it's holding, which is good. In fact, we'll go in and get a bit more detail on the 4-hourly chart. Yeah, you can see how perfect that. So I think I last updated around here and I said, oh, just after this peak, wasn't it? Oh, it'll probably hold, maybe go and ride this down. So that's exactly what it's done. It's riding it down. And we're getting this support here from the 100 period moving average and the 4-hourly. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully a move down. If we're going to get a move up, it's going to have to go up, retest, and then go back up. So I'll have to do.